I think that kids are a lot more in tune with their bodies and have more control over it than we think. Hi ladies, I'm Jill Fehrenbacher from Inhabitots, and what I want to talk to you about today is potty training. What I really want to know from you guys is how you potty trained your kids. What age did you do it? How did it go? And specifically, I want to know if anyone tried early potty training. All of the parenting books that I have and all the parenting websites that I look at all caution against early potty training. They all say things like, don't try to potty train your kid before the age of 2. You'll experience, he'll have lasting psychological damage and it'll make it very hard for you to potty train him later.
Yeah, we can get so caught up in what books say that we're supposed to do with our kids. It just gets to the point where you're paranoid to do things that are good for them, like getting feces away from their skin. You'd think that was a no-brainer, right? Like the earlier you can do that, the better. But then we get all Freudian on stuff and we think it's going to be this huge thing, and sometimes it is, but when it's not, why say that it's always going to be a big thing when for some kids it's not? I think a lot of times kids are smarter than we give them credit for.
I've got a 15-month-old son who I started potty training him when he was about 6 months. And it's so funny because I didn't really know what I was doing at the time, but it just kind of happened accidentally and naturally. And it's been sort of amazing in the sense that I've got no poopy diapers to deal with ever. I don't need to worry about having a diaper pail or kind of unpleasant smells in the nursery. I've never seen diaper rash. I've never had to put any sort of creams on his nether regions or anything like that. And I think that's kind of standard fare for a lot of moms.
I totally remember this one instance when she was about a year old, maybe 13 months old. I was changing her diaper and she was on the changing table and I had taken off her dirty diaper and hadn't yet put on the new diaper. And I remember she looked at me and went, "Pee-pee?" And I looked at her and I went, "Pee-pee?" And she wet herself. And I remember thinking at the time, oh my God, she gets it, like she understands her body. And I asked around, should I start potty training her? I mean, she's awfully young, she's only 13 months old, should I do this? And sort of like your experience, overwhelmingly, everybody was like, no, don't potty train her now, she's way too young. Unfortunately, I didn't challenge that.
Each of my children were potty trained around the same age, and nothing we did really made all that much of a difference. Our first one we tried to encourage to at least go pee in the potty from the time he was about 1.5 years old. And he got a kick out of that, he did that, but pretty much would not graduate from the diaper till he was about 3.5 because he just wanted to be sure. He's just stubborn.
I read this article that really inspired me called Elimination Communication. And it was an article about how there's a whole growing movement in the US to start potty training early, and it's based on the fact that most kids around the world are potty trained before the age of 1. And the reason for this is most children who are living in developing countries in rural areas, their parents don't have access to disposable diapers. So what their parents essentially do is they don't put them in diapers, they just watch their children closely and they notice when they have to go to the bathroom. And when they have to go to the bathroom, they hold their children over the nearest toilet or hole in the ground or what have you. And their kids just go that way.
I do know people who tried to go no diaper at all, and for some of them it's worked miraculously. And there's nothing weirder than seeing like a 6-month-old's mom holding them over the toilet while they go to the bathroom and then they put a pair of underwear onto them. Yeah, it works. It works, and instead of all the big debate we're having about disposable versus cloth versus G-diaper versus whatever other alternative, 7th generation or whatever, I'm shocked that no diaper hasn't come way more into that conversation. Because when you say no diaper, people look at you like you're a crazy hippie person. But hi, the rest of the world is doing it, just like Jill said.
My pediatrician once told me, you can't force anything in or out. And that's profound. And that changed my philosophy on potty training. on forcing kids to eat.
I don't think that my kid is some sort of crazy potty prodigy or anything like that. I really think that that most kids would probably do the exact same thing given the same situation. And basically, my son, he still uses diapers regularly throughout the day, but he has his bowel movements in the toilet, and he goes pee-pee in his diaper still. So I think that's maybe like, I don't know, 1/3 of the way or maybe halfway there.
Basically what I did was I just put her on the toilet every hour. You know, I would take her there, and if she managed to go in the toilet, she would get lots of hugs and kisses, and if she didn't manage to go, then no big deal. And pretty much within maybe 2 weeks, maybe a week, I think, she pretty much had it.
Potty training is unfortunately one of those things that you just cannot say, now we're doing this, period. Because if you don't have a kid who's on the program, there's nothing you can do to force them to go to the bathroom on the toilet.
Do you think that I'm doing my child lasting psychological harm? And has anyone else experienced anything like this? Has anyone tried anything like this? I'd really love to hear what you have to say.
Join the Momversation at momversation.com.